Lesson 16 walking. To be honest, I'm a freshman at the university, so I am constantly up to my ears in ton of assignment, and I often burn the midnight oil to meet the deadline, so I don't have spare time to go for a tour. And however, in the weekend, I often spend 30 minutes to go to the bookshop for reading to relax and happy. Where do you usually take a walk? Uh, you know, young people, to be honest, as I mentioned this before, I don't have much time for taking a walk. So yeah, it's quite hard for me to answer this question. And on the other hand, and in addition, young people in my countries are constantly up to our ear in terms of assignment, and we often burn the midnight oil to meet the deadline. So so it's quite challenging for me. It's quite challenging for me, and and so let me guess. So I guess that in my hometown, the government often build like huge park in front of the beach. So I think that is have good atmosphere. So people can take a walk or run or do exercise. That you walk more often in the park. Um, yes, definitely. Children used to work to this. When I was a child, used to work to the school about 15 minutes. So it's quite interesting and happy. In especially, I have own club with 5 person. So we often go to the school together. So I think that is these memories that is always on my mind. And but now I am a freshman at the university, so you know every day I am constantly up to my ears in tone of assignment. So I walk less than I used to. Do you walk a lot? No, I don't. I don't have much spare time, and especially that young people in my countries are all often occupied with a lot of deadline to deal with. And however, uh, I know clear about the advantage of walking. It's totally good for our health, and it helps us get lean, really stressed and happy. So I have got plans. Yes, I have got a plan, my own plan for walking for 30 minutes, 30 minutes per day. But now it's quite hard for me to make it true. So, do you think you will keep walking a part of your routine in the future? Um, sure. I think that walking is a great way to shrink our health, to make people get lean, happy, and really stressed. So I have own plan for walking about 30 minutes. So I hope it will happen in the not too distant future. And I think that's is however, it is delayed for a long time, I suppose. It's quite an outdoor activity. In former day, I used to ride a bike to the hill lake. It's quite near my current living area. It have got a major scenic in front of the beaches. It's quite near library, coffee shop, restaurant, or something. And of course, my companion is Buddy. So it says we set up at 8 p.m. Is like an ideal place for all. So I am not affect like traffic jam like in Hanoi. Uh, and so it's quite fast and convenient to move to the destination. And because it's near the beach, and I can feel like fresh air, and make me refresh and assess my my mind at ease. So after we often gather together as a coffee house for sipping a cup of coffee, having an idle chit chat with friend, snapping a photo, and curse at the 10 p.m. We went home. So after all, I think that it's like a precious opportunity to strengthen bond, to build up stamina, release stress, and make me happy. Would you say that your city is a good place for walking? I think that in there walking is less prevalent than it's used to, and with the advent number means of transport like motorbike, plane, cars, trains, so it's quite easy to for traveler move from the planes to the other easily and smoothly, especially because of air pollution or traffic jam. So it's not really a good condition for walking. So it is not an utopia place for walking. The people in your country work a lot. With the advent of number means of transport, walking is less prevalent than they used to, and people use motorbike or especially public transportation on a regular basis to move from plate to the other plate, and for the most part, the elderly and the children often spend their time to go for chores in the flats. So and the rest up to the year in work and study, so they don't have much space time. Do you think walking important? Yes, of course. It's like a simple kind of exercise, make people stay safe, really stressed, and especially it's free of charge. And in my country, the elderly and the children spend their time to go for a tour in the parks or on a regular basically, and the rest up to the years in work and study, so they cannot go for walking. Do you think people will walk more or not in the future? I think it's hard for me to put it in words because who knows what the future may hold because of the advantage of walking. So people will walk more in the future. So like walking make people stay shape, really stress, and especially it's free of charge. And in my hometown, people are spend most of time at weekend to get around. So and on the other hand, government in Vietnam built a large like park for walking. So I think is not in is in their not too long distant future. So walking will gain popular as they used to. And do you think walking is in the countryside is better than walking in the city? Yes, definitely. In the countryside, it have got a fresh air, especially it is neither traffic congestion nor fire dust airs in the big city. So I think it's like utopia place for walking. Um, that's the reason why most of the elderly after their retirement, uh, they often come back countryside for living, and it is so nice to strengthen physical and mental health. What could be done to improve the experience of walking in the city? I think it's quite hard to enhance the experience of walking in the city because people in the big city are constantly up to their ear with tons of assignment every day. So I think that it don't have much time for walking, and I suppose that the government need to raise the city dwellers' awareness of the significant walking and the disadvantage of a sedentary lifestyle. And at the same time, I think that government have to make sure that walking in the city is cheap and they need to build like park or hill street for walking, or more public parks and garden should be erected to create more walking space for the residents.